Hi, everyone. We'll start reading in a little while. I want to give everyone a chance to come in if they are registered. Now it looks like it's working. Okay, it was lagging for a second. Hi, Audra. I see you on the Twitch chat. I'm making an event for next week right now so that I don't forget. 7th. Hey, Valentina. Hey, Nikki. 6 p.m. May 7th. Feels like it hasn't been that long. Hi, Gouda. Oh my goodness, what the heck is that? Did you see that on my head? Hey, Holly. Gouda, I like your username. I love cheese. Even though I'm lactose intolerant. Gouda is one of those cheeses that I can have if it's aged long enough. Okay, description. Help us research. I just do a variation of the same thing all the time. Same? Nice. You love cheese? Yeah, I'm pretty limited with the different kinds of cheeses I can have, but I love Gouda. This pair of diaries. I wish I would remember to copy and paste instead of typing this new every time. From 1903. Written by a husband and wife. And it's a little more complicated than the other ones to describe because it's 2 diaries. Hey, Erin. Ralph and Georgia. Okay. So now the event will be there for next week already. I won't have to do that later. Is a good time in the live to do it? Yes, exactly it is. I usually forget to do it right then, though. That's the problem. So we're reading through 2 diaries from 1903. They were written by a man named Ralph Slippy and a woman named Georgia Newton. And they will, I say husband and wife because it's just easier to describe them that way, but they are not yet married. I guess they're engaged right now, I think. But they will be married during this diary year. So it's exciting that we will get to actually see them get married from both of their perspectives. So we read through a couple of diaries from this set now. We read one by Georgia in 1895 and one by Ralph in 1901. And neither of those diaries mentioned the other person. So it seems like they hadn't met yet. And now we've skipped to 1903 and they've clearly met because they're talking about each other a lot. So it's exciting. Hey, Rachel. It's exciting to finally kind of see them in each other's lives. I think a lot of us have been looking forward to that who have been following the story. But if it's your first time, it's a good time to join in because we just started reading these 2 diaries together. So what happens is I read hers and then I pop over and I read Ralph's and we get to see kind of like how their days compare. And some days they spend together, so it's cool to see that. And other days Ralph is away at school and Georgia's home in Waterloo. I realized, I don't know if I was saying it on the live, but in the Discord the other day I was saying Cedar Rapids because that was the other diaries were from Cedar Rapids, so I might make that mistake again, but Waterloo is where she's from. All right, I'm going to jump in because this takes a little bit longer with all of the back and forth. So last time we got up to January 10th. Maybe we'll get through January today because I'm a little bit more used to the format now. Like last time I was kind of fumbling trying to figure out how to do it best, but hopefully it'll get easier as we go. But thanks everyone who registered and who's here. I am Rachel. Oh, you're, well, okay. I thought you were saying you were Rachel Holly. I'm like, no, you're Holly. Probably do half a month per week. Yeah, it makes sense because we were averaging like a month for each live. So it makes sense now that we're doing double the entries. We'll get through about a half a month each live. I haven't uploaded the replay yet, but I'm going to do that later today. I was going to do it now, but it might affect my Wi-Fi. So All right, so January 11th, 1903. This is Georgia speaking. Hi, Grandma. So got up late, as usual. 8:30. I didn't realize she hasn't said that yet. Like, I've got up late as usual. She hasn't said she got up late recently. So I guess that's her thing. Reminds me of Anglesey. Helped with... It's actually Ian's grandma, but my grandma too. Ian's not home yet, but when he comes home, he'll pop in, I'm sure. Got up late as usual, 8:30. Helped with the work. Read all day. Didn't go outdoors. Only to sweep snow off the porch and go to the barn. Cold all day. 5 below. Wow. It's cute. Oh no, that's okay. You can call her Grandma. I just like to clarify. I don't think my grandma could ever get on TikTok. Cold all day. 5 below. Ian's grandma is very techie. Went to bed at 10. Everyone's grandma. Nice. Love it. Went to bed at 10:45. Clint called. I'll have to tell Ian that. And left me an invitation to attend the KL. What do we think that is? Is that a capital G or Y? I don't know. G, yeah, I have a hard time with capital cursive, but my instinct did say G too, so okay. Installation. But couldn't go. Hold on. As my friend was not here. Wonder what that means. Okay. I'm going to write down on our little research list KLGP installation. I'm going to figure out what that is. It must be some kind of organization that they're part of. Okay, yeah, awesome. She said G, so we'll go with her. Okay. Now we're going to jump over to Ralph's January 11th. Let's see. That would be a Sunday, so she didn't mention hanging out with him that day, though, so I don't think he's there. We'll see. Okay. So he got up a little bit earlier. The weather, he wrote clear, and he wrote that the temperature was 0. So that actually conflicts with Georgia's reading of -5. Got up at 7:15. He's in a different place, though, so maybe it was different. Visited Maxwell. And it looks like Teddy, but it almost looks like it says Shreddy. But I think I'm going to write Teddy. What do you guys think? Definitely capital T. Yeah, they're at slightly different towns, so maybe hers was -5. They're both very attuned to the weather, though, so I bet they're both telling the truth. Because he's into, like, recording the weather, and her dad is, like, really into recording the weather, so I trust them both. Okay, yeah, you think it's just the way he linked it up. Okay, perfect. Oh, it could be Freddie. Okay, good point. I'll put that too. It could totally be Freddie. Shaved. Maybe he'll mention this person again and we'll get more clarity. Shaved and went to PO, which is the post office. Came back and something and studied. Read and studied, probably. Read, thank you, till dinner time. Also wrote letter to E.B. Wilson. In PM, read and studied until supper time. studied till 6:10. Very specific. Then went to see something M. Martin? L.M. Martin, maybe? Senior. Okay, hold on. Let me see where you saw that. I'll go back. Oh. Yes, I totally skipped a whole line. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Studied till 6:10. Went to senior class prayer meeting. Then went to see L.M. Martin, I think it says. I don't know if you guys, I know I read cursive a lot for the, with the diaries, but I have such a hard time with his handwriting sometimes. And capital letters always get me. Do you guys think it says L.M.? L or J? Okay, yeah, that could be a J. See, why is it so vague that it could be either? J.M. and I also misspelled Martin, so, okay. Came back and studied 11 to 11:30, went to bed. Okay, so on his, I'm separating the research list by Ralph and Georgia. So on his, we're going to look up, there's a few people in here. I'm just going to write down Maxwell, Freddie, because we have a yearbook from this year in his, at his college. So if there's any Maxwell or Freddie or Teddy in that yearbook, it could be them. So I'm still going to write it down, even though it's just a first name. E.B. Wilson. Then we have L or J.M. Martin. Maybe yeah, Frederick Theodore. Yes, good point. They would be nicknames. Okay, let's jump back to Georgia. We are on January 12th, 1903. I thought this would make things easier to have the heading appear at every page, but it's kind of confusing looking. I'm just going to have to tweak the format as I go, and we'll just deal with it for now. Breakfast, or maybe I'll make it I'll just tweak it. I think I'll make it maybe another column on the side or something, so it's not seeming like it's an entry. I don't know. It's fine. Breakfast helped. Oops. What did I do here? With work. Didn't go to office in morning. After dinner, went to office a while. Went to see Richie the Magician. See, this is why it's weird. So now, because I made it so that it would remind us on every page which one's Georgia and which one's Ralph. But then it looks like it's in the middle of the entry. I'm going to just do something quick. If I make these things a different color, maybe that will help. Hold on. Maybe I'll make hers. I'll be very stereotypical and make hers pink and his blue for now. Weird. It reminds me of a newborn baby. Start January 12th under the headache. Yeah, it's just that every time it's gonna every time there's a new page, it's gonna run into it. So, all right, and then when I copy and paste them, it makes the formatting a big mess. So that's okay. For now, this works, and then I'll tweak it after. Richie the Magician at the YMCA with Papa. Not very cold. Went to bed at 11:45. Okay, now I gotta go on newspapers.com and see if they mention Richie the Magician. Is that how she spelled it? Richie, yeah. In 1903 in Waterloo, Iowa. Let's see. Richie, here he is. Richie, magician. Okay, we'll click on this one first. I don't think that's related. Okay, Richie the Magician, Hall, the Prince of Musicians. Oh, this must be... Oh, there's a bunch of different performers at the YMCA. Okay, let's look at this one. The Ritchie Entertainment to be given on Monday night. Monday, perfect. In Association Auditorium as the third number on the course promises to be a very novel attraction. While Ritchie is one of the foremost sleight of hand performers and could give an entire evening's program and never lose the attention of his audience, he chooses to give a variety to the program by the assistance of Frank Hall, who can make music out of most anything. He stands almost alone in his class of work, which is very clever and requires great musical ability. He's known in Chicago. Okay, so this is the other guy. I thought they were going to talk more about Ritchie. What do you want? We want photos, Ritchie. Yes, very true. Okay, I'm going to make a habit of grabbing this now, this picture. I'm taking a screenshot and putting it, in here for later, because I always forget to add the pictures. So on my website, it's www.thingslostandfound.com. I have this here, and this is so far all the entries we've typed, and I try to make it like a little scrapbook and put these pictures in there. So we do have a picture of Ralph. We don't have a picture of Georgia yet. Oh, there's a Fred F. Thompson in the yearbook. Okay. Is there have you found a Maxwell? I'm writing down on the little research list Fred Thompson. And then after I can open him up. Do I have a quick link to that? I know I put it in somewhere. Hold on. Here. So many tabs. I just put it in our links page for the Diary Detectives. Here it is. Cornell College yearbook. What did you say, Fred? Oh, you're looking now. Okay. Fred F. Thompson for Maxwell. Cool. Oh, thanks for the follow, Marlene. Fred. Oh, you didn't say Frederick. Let's see. Is it only going to search this one page? Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll have to go back to it. Oh, thank you, Marlene. Yeah, we've been through a few projects now, and so this is, I read through a 1917 diary. That's kind of like my individual project, and then this live stuff that we've been doing, we did successfully complete a series a while ago called the Weatherman Diaries, and we actually returned those to a relative, which was very cool. Yeah, okay, here it is. I got it, Valentina, thank you. So this one, we have found some relatives that will accept the diaries afterwards. Okay, so there's two Freds. Frederick Earl Westfield first began to notice the ladies' bonnets in Waterloo, Iowa. What? And his long dark locks are a familiar sight. Okay. Since writing the above, Wellstead has cut his hair. Okay, so that's one possible Fred, and there's another one, Fred Thompson. I like how funny these little blurbs are. Okay, so I'm going to write down, what was the other guy's name? Last name? Wellstead. Could be either. Maybe he will elaborate. Okay, so let's read the 12th in Ralph's. And let me go back. Hold on, I can't see anything that's being written to me now. Okay. January 12th, 1903. Cold clear. Got up at 7. Recited astronomy And then descriptive geometry. I'm glad we figured out what that, or is it geology or it's geometry? Yep. Studied descriptive geometry till chapel time. Worked till noon in chemistry lab. Went to called meeting of Adelpho? Isn't that a fraternity or something, or a club? I thought I saw that he was in something called Adelphi. Let me go to his yearbook. Yeah, he was. Okay, what was it actually called, though? I never link anything. Of course this isn't linked. Okay, let's find him in this yearbook. Is it like, am I going to be able to do this quickly? Is there like a menu, or do you have to click through it one by one? Because this is going to take forever. Can you jump? Search results, home, one. Oh, it's one by one. Oh, you can do this, but that's like a shot in the dark. After page 30. Okay. Is that where the people are? Okay, cool. Is this not in, this is not in alphabetical order. Are these faculty? Paul Bellamy. That name, he's mentioned that guy before. Did we already find this picture before? We might have. I'm writing him down. We might have already seen this picture. He looks familiar. Okay, keep going. Let's see. Is it in alphabetical order now? No. Slippy. Here he is. Ralph Slippy. Dutch Socrates ran his first line. Okay, so that's talking about his education, but there definitely said something about Oh. Yes, this photo. Oh, the Bellamy photo. Thank you. Yes. So, it's not in here, but it's in somewhere. It's in his obituary or something. But I guess we'll have to find it later. Okay. Oh, Audra's coming over to TikTok. The Twitch is a little dead. There's no one there, but that's okay. It's good to have it. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. Went to called meeting of Adelphs. I'll just keep it like that. At 12. Adelphian? Yeah. I don't know. Well, he wrote Adelphs, I think. And maybe they call it Adelphian in his... It was either his obituary or maybe it was that bio that we found of him. Oh, Twitch is a little behind, yeah. So if anything happens to TikTok, I'll go to Twitch. And I'm just kind of running it as a backup, you know? And then if someone, like, if someone's just on Twitch and they find me on there, great. But, yeah, that's the plan B. So we don't need to go there now. But everyone just know that Twitch is the backup plan. Okay. Went to called meeting of Adelphs at 12:30. Went in to see Martin. Then went downtown. Studied engineering till supper time. After supper, took a walk and studied engineering and geology. Had lunch. About 9 o'clock? That doesn't seem right. What do you think that says? Does it say had lunch? That's what it looks like to me. But after supper, he had lunch. Had break. I don't know. Well, I guess I'll move on if no one's got ideas. I don't know. Church. Ooh, I don't know. I don't see a C in the beginning, but good thought. I feel like it's either an L-U or B. Had lunch. I don't know. I think it says lunch, yeah. I'll just leave it. Okay. Back to Georgia. On to the 13th. So January 13th, 1903. Yeah, that's true. Maybe he wanted to note lunch that happened earlier and he just wrote it later in the entry. That's true. Breakfast. Yeah, it could be brunch. But then it would be the same question, like, why is he mentioning lunch at... But I guess it could be that he was thinking of it later. That's a good point. Like, he's filling out the entry for the whole day after the day has happened. So maybe he's like, oh yeah, I had to have lunch at 9 o'clock. Because he had something to do. I don't know. Maybe because of the chemistry lab or something. Okay. Breakfast, went to office all day. Hitched up. Oh, so this is Georgia. Hitched up about 5 o'clock and took a drive. Found Miss Sawyer and Lily. I actually don't think it's a P. R. It's either Rickert or Reichert. Pickett? It could be Pickett. I feel like I see a R. Rickert. I don't know. You could really make it anything, you know? Because it also could be a P, but I think I see a vague line here. Totally unrelated, but oh, nice! Nessa, I also dig in my parents' woods. There's a bunch of old plates and things like that. Yeah, and so people used to, like, a lot of times they call it, oh, my voice just cracked. They call it privy digging, where people used to throw their trash in the old outhouses. So it's like all buried and it's like this column of stuff that you can dig up, that people do that for fun. But for me, it's not like a privy. It's like a clearing where they must have just thrown all their trash and it got buried over time. So it sounds like what you're talking about. And I've dug up so many cool things there. And no, I haven't gone back, Rachel, since I moved out. Because I've just been so busy, but I would like to go. The problem is it's like planning ahead so much. Like I used to like going out there as a I'll go out to the junk pile, you know, like just it comes up and it's not like a planned thing. But now I'd have to plan a day to go clean it out. I don't know, but I do want to continue. It's fun. I did bring some of those broken plates to my house though, because I want to make some things for my garden with it. So that's a plan. Found Miss Sawyer and Lily Rickert, so took them with me. Pleasant, not cold. Read in evening. Went to bed at 10 o'clock. So when she's talking about going to the office, she's talking about, I think, working for her dad, because her dad has an engineering office. And I think we had seen somewhere that she worked for him. I don't need to write Tuesday. Yeah, I'm thinking either, ooh, look what I found, says Valentina. I'm thinking for the broken plates either, it was the Adelphian Society. Thank you. I'm going to click on that. either stepping stones or maybe something like plant pots or something mosaicked. Because stepping stones, I feel like the pieces are kind of sharp, so I don't want to like cut myself walking on them. But oh yeah, yep, right as I was saying, you cut my finger. You cut your finger on one. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna catch? I know. Just dirt. A little dirt will do you good. That's really cool though. I hope, was that like the first time you ever found anything like that? Because you should definitely go back. I bet you're in for more. Because that's how, when my dad and I used to walk in the woods and like around the house, and that's why we called it the junk pile, because like it was just something that we called it back then. And it was just, it seemed like just a bunch of glass in a clearing. But at some point, we decided to look a little further, and we realized, like, once we cleared off all that glass shards, like, it was insane how much glass was there. So we kind of, like, took all that out, and then we started to find buttons. Like, I found buttons from the Civil War and the Mexican-American War. It's, like, crazy how old this stuff is, and how it was just there the whole time and never, like, realized. And then I got really obsessed with digging into it and, like, looking up all the things that I found, and you'll have a blast. Oh, my God. Ugh. Okay. So, oh, hey, Jen. Yes, and I had to stop myself from going. I know. Okay, so we totally are the same person, Nessa. Because I would go out there. This was, like, this goes all the way back to, well, my dad and I, we used to walk when I was really little, but then, like, middle school and high school, I used to, after school, go out and dig for hours until it got dark and I couldn't see anymore, and that's when I went inside, so it's definitely a hyperfixation. Yeah, I found a poison jar, like a glass jar that says poison. I have it upstairs. I put flowers in it now. But it's so cool to figure out, too, like, you can probably find out who lived on your property back in the day, like if you can date the bottles that you're finding, or you can date the plates, the different patterns and stuff. Sometimes you can, or sometimes even the plate pieces that you think are just junk, they have a logo on them that you can look up, and you can find like what company made those plates. And it like, it's just a million rabbit holes you could go down. I'm so excited for you. You were trying to figure out what the A and the H symbols meant under the tiny glass bottles. Yeah, it could be a company or a material. Usually on the bottom, it's like a company stamp. So you could look up, I've done a lot of this, like, it's hard because sometimes it's like a design, and it's hard to describe a design, but you know what you can do is Google Lens. So the Google app on the phone, you can take a picture of something and search the image and see maybe people, a lot of times it's eBay that I find, like, people are selling that same bottle on eBay. And then I figure out what company made it, and then I look up the company, and you find out what was in the bottle. It's really cool. A lot of it's like old medicines and stuff. I like want to do this with you. Oh, nice. Your family got you a metal detector for your birthday. I had gotten a metal detector to help with the junk pile stuff, and I quickly realized it's basically useless for me for that, because it's all, it's like all metal in there. So anywhere you metal detect in the actual junk pile, it's like, it's going to go off. But it was helpful for finding the border. And it ended up that the junk pile that I had is like much wider than I thought. It just goes under the leaves. So there was the clearing, but then there's also more. So it kind of like helped find the barriers. And it's just fun to like go to the beach and do that too. So very cool. Well, Nessa, I hope that you come back and you tell us what you find. We have a whole group of, we call ourselves the Diary Detectives, and we like share all that stuff. So, or you should come on the next live and tell me if you find anything new. I would like to, if you can, if you want help looking up logos and stuff, you can message me and I can send it to them and we can work together. Because I mean, it's usually just a bunch of, when I'm trying to find them, it's just like a bunch of Google searches and you hope you find it. I don't really have a lot of strategies, but I do have the passion. And I would love to help you figure that out. All right. What was I doing with this? We were looking at somebody. Valentina, you sent me this link. And then I got way distracted. So, oh, the Adelphian Society. Okay. So is this the, yeah, here. Adelphian Society. So we should definitely look out for any of these names because Ralph Slippy's here. If he mentions like who do we have? Wilstead and Thompson. Let's see if either of them are in this. Oh no, this is 1903, so he's not, but we should definitely look out for any of these names because if he mentions more, it's probably this guy, you know? Yeah, exactly. It was ironstone pieces from an old aqua-colored bottle from Chamberlain Co. Apparently they sold medicine before regulations, yep. And a green piece of glass that said Pepsi. Oh, nice! Oh, that's cool. So you could look up I bet, because Pepsi is a big company, you could find a historical timeline. Look up a timeline of Pepsi logos or Pepsi bottles, and then you could probably date that bottle by the logo. But yeah, I found a couple of old bottles with medicine, and one of them was Dr. Hart, I think, Hart, and it was like, I looked up the old ads for it, and it was like, it claimed to cure everything under the sun, like anything that could be wrong with you, that medicine. So it's just funny. All that stuff that doesn't exist anymore. Chamberlain Co. I wonder if I could look. What, well, it might have been a big one, like a big company, but what state? I was going to look up a newspaper, but I wonder. It must have been something like this. It's cool. Some people find the bottle with the label still on it, or like with a little piece of paper still inside it that tells you what's in it. Wisconsin. Okay, so I wonder if we could find like, so when was this? 1890s. So late 1800s. Chamberlain Co. We'll look up like 1890 to 1900 in Wisconsin. I mean, I'm sure this was something that here it is, I think. Chamberlain's colic. Cholera and diarrhea remedy. Yum. It is everywhere admitted to be the most successful remedy in bowel complaints, and the only one that never fails. Oh, cool. The company is from Des Moines. I love how every single medicine company back then could say like, oh yeah, this is the best and it's proven, and there's like no one checking up on that. Sometimes if you look deep, you can find old ads, like the heart one. I found old advertisements that were in like little pamphlets and stuff. Those are really cool. I like looking at old advertisements, especially for medicine, because a lot of the times in the newspapers, they're like off to the side, and they're just wild. The things that they claim, it's hilarious. And remember, you guys who are diary detectives, you'll remember from the Weatherman Diaries when we were running into like the chiropractor thing. Like the chiropractor ads were saying, making all these outrageous claims like of what they could cure. Coca-Cola apparently started off as medicine. Yep. Oh, man. Okay. So now I'm on Ralph, January 13th. Clear, cold. Got up. But, Nessa, I don't know. I can't remember. Have I seen your name on here before, or are you new to the live? Because if not, or if you're new, you should go to my page. I think I might have the chiropractor that was a magician. Yeah, magicians coming up everywhere. I think, let me just check because I don't even know if I have a junk pile. I don't. So I don't have it on my TikTok. The videos are there, but you'd have to like dig for them. But on my YouTube, I have a playlist that's all me digging in my junk pile and like showing what I found. So you should check that out. You went to a library and saw archives of old magazines. Ads were wild. Yep. It is funny. Okay, got up at 6:30. Studied
sanitary. I'm glad we figured out what these classes were so that we don't have to do it again. Engineering, 6:45 to 7. Studied and recited descriptive geometry. I'm gonna move this around just so TikTok doesn't think I'm like not doing anything. Perfect. Oops. All right. Descriptive geometry, 8 to 9, 15. His life is so much interesting when he's in school. The last diary that we read was him describing his railroad job, and it was just like, I mean, it was interesting at times, but there were times when it was just hard to get through. All the numbers and equations and very, very, very factual. Yes, Rachel. All right. 8 to 9:15, wrote letter. Oh, he wrote a letter to Georgia, his future wife, and worked in chemistry laboratory in PM. Studied descriptive geology, also geology, or geometry, also geology, and astronomy. Went downtown just after dinner to mail letter and got a haircut and shave. After supper, studied bridge design with Martin till 9:30, 11:30, 10:30. What do we think? Let's see if he mentions when he went to bed. Studied sanitary till 10. Okay, so that must say 9:30. And went to bed. Okay. He does sound like an intelligent man. Lots of studying. Okay. January. Oh, we got to go back to her. So now we're jumping back to Georgia. Let's see. I wonder when she'll get the letter. We'll see how long it takes to get a letter from Mount Vernon to Waterloo. January 14th. Breakfast. Was at office all day. Went downtown. Read in evening. Finished the book called The Illumined Face. It's not illuminated. Illumined Face. Went to bed at 10:30. Pleasant and not cold. Okay, let's look up The Illumined Face. Book. The Illumined Face book? No. The Illumined Face, Kelly. No, that is 2015. It could be a different word, too. I feel like it looks like illumined. But I don't see it. Usually books, I can find them. Is it definitely face? Yeah. Okay. This one says 1911, but that maybe that was like another, what would they call it? Edition of it?
A Face Illumined is an ancient romance storybook. When was it written? Okay. See, this is confusing because the publication date is 2024. Yeah, I'll just add it to the research list. You're right. I don't know why I like to look it up if it's easy, and then it's like sometimes we just need a little bit more time. I will. The Illumined Face. Okay. Good point. So now we'll jump over to Ralph. Yeah, usually books are easy to find. And sometimes, because they're so old, we find copies that you can actually read for free. Because they're public domain now. Thanks, Liam and Valentina, for the gifts, too. Okay, Cold, Cloudy. Wait, did I already do this? No, he just did almost the same thing. Got up at 7. I'm trying to figure out like what that says, but I think it's just at. Recited astronomy and chemistry. Studied astronomy till chapel time. Went downtown for something for laboratory. Oh, zinc for laboratory. And worked in lab till noon. Yeah, it's diary day. Okay. In PM, studied geometry and geology. Ooh, A Face Illuminated, E.P. Rodod by Mead and Company. I shall look it up. A Face Illumined. Oh yeah, A Face Illumined. And maybe... Yeah, that's interesting because they say illuminated, but it does say illumined. That's definitely, that must be it. This is a first edition on eBay. Oh, cool. I wish she gave us the author. But yeah, that's neat. I bet that's it. Very cool. Thank you. And you sent a different one? Hold on. Discord. The Illumined Face by William Valentine Key. Yes, I think that might be the one that was the... Was that the one I was looking at before? I don't know. So it could be that one too. Because it could be... It says 1911, but that could be like the second edition, and it could be... like written earlier and then they came out with another version, so yeah, every time Rachel reminds you should join us. Okay, I always forget. First, I can't say your username. Is it Squawk Guy? I forget. You told me how to say it before, but I'm sorry. Who are you? That's funny. In PM, studied geometry and geology till supper time. Yeah, there are lots of people in the Discord who are equally obsessed with all this stuff. Went down, it's a matter of time, we all end up there. Went downtown and then studied bridge design with Martin again. So we should also look up who's Martin, because he's probably a fellow student. 6:15 to 8:30.
Talked till 9:30. Studied sanitary engineering till 10:15 and went to bed. Okay. So now we will jump back and see what Georgia did on January 15th. Wow, we've only gotten through 5 days. Breakfast. Her entries are quicker. Pleasant and not cold. She says that a lot. Was at office all day. Went to grandma and stayed all night with her. Went to bed at 11. Okay. Yeah, Ralph is writing a lot more than in his last diary, that's for sure. But once again, he's very factual with, I studied this from this time to this time, and then I studied this from this time to this time, and I talked to this person, and we recited this, and then studied it. I was like, it's a lot of repetition. Hi, Felicia, I saw you in here. Okay. Warmer, clear. Got up at 6 a.m. Hello. Recited astronomy and geometry. Yeah, exactly, Rachel. I will take it. I will take the repeating of which classes he's taking when over the numbers and abbreviations that take up 5 lines of the diary. So, definitely. Recited astronomy and geometry. Received letter from Georgia. Oh, that's interesting because she didn't say she wrote one, did she? Studied geometry and went. I'll make a new expense report for the new diaries. Love it. No rush. We have a long time. It's going to take us a long time to read through these anyway, so no, it's okay. Okay. Studied geometry and... Oh, see, I keep getting lost. Hold on. Went to chapel. Chemistry till noon. A Delph called meeting at noon. And prayer meeting in Maxwell's room. Received supplies from Allo & Co., which we talked about them last time. That's an engineering company that provides like engineering materials that he ordered from. Oh, that's okay, Felicia. Hold on. You will get your own happy diary birthday. We'll make up for it. Yeah, Joanne, that's a good question. We actually don't know how exactly they met because we had the 1895 diary of Georgia's that we read, and she didn't talk about Ralph at all, so we can safely say they did not meet in 1895. And we have Ralph's 1901 diary, and he doesn't ever mention Georgia in that diary either, so I think we can safely say they did not meet in 1901. We think, like Rachel is saying, we think they met because Ralph worked with her father. They were both engineers, and then they continued to work together after. So it's possible that, like, and they were involved in, like, the same engineering societies and everything, so it could have been that they knew each other and then he met Georgia through her father. Or another theory that I was thinking of last time is that Georgia, her family, her house in the census, in I think the 1900 and the next one too, they have boarders in their house. So they have people who pay room and board and they live in another, I think it's like an apartment attached to their house or something. So they have their house and then they have boarders. And in the beginning of this 1903 diary, the way Ralph is talking sounds like he lives in the Newtons and in their house and he pays them rent. So it sounds like he's a boarder in their house. So it's either that he started working for Mr. Newton or with him and they met, or he was boarding at their house coincidentally and they met and then he started working for him, or maybe it's a little bit of both, like he got a job with Mr. Newton and Mr. Newton had a boarding house so he stayed there. I don't know. It's something like that though, because their careers are way too similar for it to be a coincidence that they met. I think that his or her dad definitely had something to do with it, but we don't know for sure. Okay. Received supplies from Allo and Co. Studied geology till supper time. And what do we think that says? Is that a person? I almost wrote engineering, but that it turns into something that I don't know. It's not English. Assignment? No. Association? Engineer Association? I think it is. I think that's what it is. Engineer Association 610 to 710. Studied with plot twist, angst makes an appearance. Yeah. She goes on a trip. Studied with Martin until 9:30. Studied geology, and went to bed at 10:30. Okay. Back to Georgia's life. So Georgia on January 16th. Right? Yeah. Maybe we won't make it through the whole month of January today. Breakfast. Pleasant all day. Was at office all day. Went downtown. Ralph came up or at, hold on, let me zoom out. Yeah, Ralph came at 8:40 and hitched up and went over after him. Went to bed at 11 o'clock. So he came to visit for the weekend. I wonder if he's going to come home every weekend. Sounded like you were going to say Anglesey. I didn't know how to spell her full name correctly. Oh, in one of the entries. Yeah. Anglesey it's Anglesea. But the way you wrote it is another variation of how some people do spell it. And that's how, like, there's some places named Anglesey, and that's how they're spelled. Yes, the plot twist used. Okay, sorry. I didn't catch that that's why. January 16th. So this is January 16th of Ralph's diary. It was clear. Got up at 6. He gets up early. Recited geometry and astronomy. Received letter from E.B. Wilson. Okay, so that's the person he sent a letter to a few days ago. And answered it. Went to chapel. Chemistry. Prayer meeting. And shaved at noon. Hi.
Hi.
You look like the cat peeking. Your grandma was here. I don't know if she's here now.
No. Hi, Grandma.
But I said, someone said, hey, Addie's grandma. I said, actually, it's Ian's grandma, but she's my grandma too. And she said, I'm everyone's grandma.
And quads.
What is he doing? Oh, he's looking up at you. I did feed them. Yeah, that's definitely what he wants. Shaved at noon. Made bulletin for
I bring him.
Adelphs. He brings him. I'll get out of the way. We have been blessed. It's funny that it's always Claude. Ah, it's never Basil that we bring. Okay, he's not liking that.
Like he was getting
where
off
is he supposed to stand?
I don't know. It's just
You set him up for failure. Get him a treat now. Okay, helped Martin blueprint. Got ready to go to... I like how he says, Wooloo. Oh, thanks, Danny. I'm glad you're here. Wooloo, that's Waterloo. And studied, I'm going to call it that now. And studied astronomy. Left for CR. It's funny that he's calling it CR. Because in the other diaries where they were living around Cedar Rapids, that's what they called it. CR at 5:45. Oh, thanks for the follow, Danny. And if you ever, because you mentioned that you like when you can catch these lives, if you ever don't catch a live and want to watch a replay, I do put them on my YouTube. It takes me a while to catch up, but they're on there. And this one from last week will be on there. I'm going to do it today, I think. But we just started these diaries. There's 2 of them that are written by Ralph and Georgia. That man, Slippy. Supper at CR. Yeah, he's all about abbreviations. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. Supper at CR. Yeah, and I also upload the actual text that we type out to my website, which is on my link tree. So that's there. And you can like read through it if you don't want to watch the 2-hour-long live videos that are there. So it's probably a little easier. Took CRIP, that's the railroad. Well, now I don't feel bad about documenting on Facebook. This guy says every shave he's got. I know. I shaved. You should have, in the last diary, he was giving us, like, way too much information about the boils on his neck that he had to get lanced. I still hope we stumble upon another diary of Todderhead. I know, me too. Me too. I should keep some searches saved on eBay or something. I don't know, like, because whoever would be selling them wouldn't know who the writer was. So it's like, how do you... I should have bought more that day. I did try. And that guy never got back to me, that eBay seller. And now I tried to go back a little while ago and send another message, and I couldn't figure out, like, how to send him a message. It was, the option, like, wasn't popping up. I don't know if it's because it's been a long time since I had messaged him before, but I couldn't even find, like, the messages. I don't know if they disappear or something. But I figured that was hopeless. I don't know. Took CRIP to Willow, Georgia. Met me at train with Hector. Hector is the horse. Took short drive and visited in evening. To bed at 10:30. Okay. So now, jump back to her. January 17th, 1903. Breakfast. Pleasant day. Ralph went home at 8. Came back at noon. Went to office all day. R went with me in afternoon. Hitched up and went collecting a while. Was at grandma's a while. Home to supper. After supper,
went downtown and took a walk. Windy but pleasant. Went to bed at 11 o'clock. Okay, Holly said he spent the night. Let's look. Maybe she meant 8 the night before? I don't know. Maybe he... I don't know. Or he did, I think, live in that apartment next to them, so maybe he slept there. He might have went home to Rhinebeck, which is the town that he grew up in. That might mean home. And then he came back to Waterloo. I don't know. I don't know what she means by that. But I'm guessing he didn't spend the night with her because it's 1903. You never know, though. Ooh, I see a cashed check, Felicia, for your expense report. You have a random question. Have you ever heard the expression? Okay, I'll wait for the next comment. I'm curious. Oh, I don't have to write Saturday because that's going to be too much. January 17th. Colder, clear. Took C and GWs, so that's Chicago and Great Western, I think, train to Rhinebeck. Yeah, okay, so this answers our question. I love this. This is so cool that we read both at the same time because he's answering our question. He went home at 8, so he went to Rhinebeck where he grew up. And then he came home, he came back to Waterloo. So, visited folks and got overcoat fixed. That is so cool. Took C and GW train. Oh, hold on. Ian sent me a message. Oh, he sent me a video of Claude. Oh, it's one of those, you know how your iPhone, like, makes, a montage of photos for you to a song? That's what it is, so I'll watch that later. Just got home so I can get this more of my attention. Love it. Nessa, I don't know if you sent the expression. I'm very curious about what it is. Sometimes, the comments get, like, filtered out, so if you tried to send it, I didn't see it, so try to send it again if so. Took C and GW train to Waterloo. It's a horse apiece. Means it's the same thing, but I don't know where it's from or why. No, I've never heard of that. It's a horse apiece. I've never heard that. Interesting. Went with Georgia to office. Then went to savings bank. And started deposit? What is that? Deposit? For $75? He's a saving man. Georgia hitched, and he's so, like, he's insured too. Georgia hitched up and took me collecting. Got $5. I wonder what that means. Like, are they collecting money for the business? Because she mentioned collecting a lot. But, like, it almost sounds like they're, like, begging. I don't think they're begging, but... Then we called on Ms. Benny or Mrs. Probably Mrs. I feel like they didn't use Ms. It might not be Benny, Benny, but I don't know what else it would be. After supper, went we went home, downtown, then came back and talked in the office. Watered the horse. And I took a bath and went to bed. Cashed checks for $98. Water horse make horse grow. I have heard that expression before, watered the horse. It's interesting. It is like watering a plant. Okay, I'm getting tired. I don't know. Maybe till 7:30 I'll go. We'll see how far we get. Okay, January 18th. Breakfast, 9:30. R and I went to they went to meth church. I'm watching Breaking Bad with Ian right now, so my mind is in the gutter. They went to the Methodist church in the morning. Dinner and done dishes. Cracked nuts and visited till supper. What's my name? Squarky? Squarky. You told me before. I didn't see it today if you sent it. Okay. Cracked nuts and visited. I know it is good. Breaking Bad. I have like tried to watch that show a few times, and I watched like the first couple of episodes and never could get into it. So I had not like I had low expectations, but I I don't think I know that quote yet. Who says that? But yeah, no, once I got through the first couple episodes again, it is so good. Me and Ian watch it every night now. And Ian's seen it before, but it's been long enough that he's excited to watch it again. Yeah, this is before they get married. The reason why on my descriptions of this live I say they're a husband and wife is because it's just easier to explain it that way. But they haven't actually been married yet. They get married in December of this year, 1903. You still go Better Call Saul. Yes, I know. That's very true. I guess not just, I think we're on season 3, so I think if that's not the season that Saul is introduced, he's been around now. But there was like a while before I didn't know who he was. He's funny. Saul Goodman, his name. It reminds me of Arrested Development. Their lawyer, Stan Sitwell. No period, a comma. Okay. Cracked nuts and visited till supper, comma. And helped with that and dishes. Visited all evening with R. Till he went away at 1:30. He leaves so late. Back to school. And when I went to bed, and then I went to bed, yeah, probably. Pleasant, but a little cold. Okay. Ralph. January 18th. Got up at 8:30. Got ready and went to church with Georgia. Did meth. After dinner, helped wash the dishes. And we cracked some, well, he's going to be more specific, butternuts. I've actually never heard of butternuts. I've heard of butternut squash. Then, sorry, it's getting late. I'm hungry. Getting punchy. Then talked till supper time. Supper time. After supper, visited until 1. Does that say 1:30 p.m. or 1:30 a.m.? I think it says 1:30 a.m. Yeah, it does. It does. It's a lowercase looking a. Monday morning. He stays so late. They're a type of nut you just found out too. Yeah. How cool. A butternut. Did they eat them or did they just crack them? What an activity. Crack and meth. I know. Yeah, you can't. It's like TikTok's gonna think you're, you need to be censored. Okay. Let's keep going. January 1903. January 19th. Yeah, I definitely need to stop soon because I keep getting like all messed up. Good night, Grandma. Wait, what? How long has it taken to get used to Ralph's handwriting? I feel like I'm still not quite used to it. It takes a while. I don't know. In the last diary, he did a lot of like print. I feel like we were off on the time. Yeah, in the last diary, he did, I think, print a lot. I don't know. I get in her handwriting, we saw it a lot in the 1895 diary, but it's been a while since we read her handwriting. I think it's just like over time. I don't know how long exactly. But I still struggle with his sometimes. We should be thankful he's not a doctor. Yeah. Then we'd really need Valentina to be reading it because she can read doctor handwriting. He said supper and visited until 1:30. Supper for him is lunch. No, supper is dinner. Supper is the evening meal. Dinner is lunch. Ian's cooking stream. Yeah, I don't know if Ian has been getting more comfortable with the camera. You see him come in and like show Claude, but I don't think he wants to be a performer. Yeah, we did make the kolaches, but the stream unfortunately like died. For some reason my Wi-Fi doesn't reach up into the kitchen well, and I could not get it to work. I was so disappointed because I was looking forward to it. Yeah, it is AM. Yeah, and because it is confusing. Dinner is lunch, and yeah, we need a booster up there definitely. And that's how we figured it out. And supper is dinner. So they came out good. The kolaches or kolaches. Breakfast was at office all day. In afternoon, went down. Yeah, he needs a TikTok page for his coding and cooking and making bread. Yeah, it was right when they were like in the oven. And then I tried to come down here, and because I knew that my computer could connect, so I tried to come down here and get back on, and it was like after that I couldn't get on the live at all. I felt so bad. But they were good. And I don't know about vlogging. In afternoon, went down to the market to see Myrtle. Then home to supper. After supper, we're building a garden now. That's what our thing is. After supper, read papers, went down to Mabel's a while, got home at 10. The recipe, I used like an online recipe, and I think it's on my website, the one that I used, if I kept it up there. Hold on, let me see. It was very involved. I would do it again because they were good, but like it was like you had to let the, oh, I guess I didn't keep it. I got rid of it. You had to let the dough rise a bunch of times, and it was like creating the actual shape was, yeah, that's true. House renovations. We're just starting the house renovations again. All winter we've been like not doing much of anything. It's just bad weather, and we don't like to go in and out of the out to the garage in the cold, so we haven't done much. What was I saying? Yeah, the recipe, I don't know. It was like I looked it up on Google, Kolachki's recipe, and it was one of the first ones. She had a video too, but yeah, it was like intense because I actually started it before I went live. Because you had to let everything sit, and then when I was on the live trying to cook it, I saw that you had to let it sit again, and I was like, oh no. But it's worth it. You should let it rise. I did do one. I remember, I think it was Rachel. I think it was your idea. Like, because I didn't want to wait. Someone said, like, oh, do half of them and let the other half sit. The ones that sat were much better. But you can put all different jams in it. It was good. The blueberry jam and everything. Okay. Chet and Myrtle. Yeah, nowhere near me sells them either. Chet and Myrtle brought me home. It was like a croissant, kind of like a donut-y croissant with fruit jelly in the middle. Pleasant day. Went to bed at 10:30. Played one game of Flinch. Wonder what that is. Is that a card game or? I don't know. Okay, I'll read to the 20th. We'll say 10 days each time. So I'll read one more. Yeah, Texas, there's a lot of them, right? They're everywhere. January 19th. This one's a long one. Okay, weather was cold and clear. Left the house at 1:30. Took CR. Is it the CRINP? I assume it is because he's taken that one before. Train to Cedar Rapids and slept all the way down. Train something late. Train is late. You support me coming to Texas. Thank you. Someday. Oh, it's a card game. Cool. Thanks for looking that up. I've never been to Texas. I've only been to, I haven't been to many of the states, actually. I've been to Florida when I was, 7. But I haven't been to Texas or anywhere out west or even, central. I haven't been to many, places in the United States. I've been, to Europe a few times, but not to Ireland yet. Rachel, we did want to go to Ireland a few years ago. But it was because a vacation got canceled because of COVID. So we had these vouchers with a certain airline. And we wanted to go to Ireland, but we couldn't because that airline was a Portuguese airline. So if we wanted to go to Ireland through that airline, which we had the vouchers for, it was insanely expensive. So we went to Portugal. We settled. No, it was good though. We love Portugal anyways, but we did want to go to Scotland or Ireland. Yeah, Australia, the 24-hour flight. I don't know if I have it in me. We can all meet in Ireland, yes. It kind of, it's cool that we're all over the world, the diary detectives, but it's also kind of sad. Because it is true, how would we ever decide on where to meet? We could meet up where the diaries take place, but they all take place in different places, so. I don't know, we'll see. It'll come to us, I think. Someday we'll have a meetup. All right, train. I gotta find my spot again. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. Is that 20 something late? 20 minutes or something late? Train so late. 27 hours traveling to Japan. Holy crap. That's a long time. Fairfax for the 10-year reunion, yeah. It's like middle of nowhere. The whole town of Fairfax be like, who the heck are these people? Okay, I'm just gonna write train something late. It's probably 20 minutes late. What does that mean though? If it's 20, because I see the little lines too. Does that mean minutes? Slept. Okay. In depot till 5:30. But something to Mount V. Walked. Trekked. Hacked. It's minutes, aren't they the ones? Yes, that's the ones who blocked me from the Facebook page. Okay, slept in depot till 5:30, but, or it might not even be but, blank, don't know, to Mount hitched. Okay, I'm gonna write hitched. Mount V, which is Mount Vernon, got breakfast at the new Pullman and took 6:30 train to Mount V. Recited astronomy, then descriptive geometry. Received letter from CBW and answered it. Went to chapel and then to chemistry lab. Finished first specimen. Come on, specimen. In general and started second. Wrote letter to Georgia. It's so sweet. You just saw her the day before. He's writing her a letter. After dinner. I wish we had the letters. Slept a while and studied till supper time. Studied bridges with Ganser and Martin. So we have another name to write here, Ganser. And Martin, 6 to 9. Studied geology till 9 or till 10 and went to bed. Okay, I'll read one more entry from each of them and then I'm going to call it quits for tonight. So there is actually one thing I thought of when I said, oh, I wish we had those letters. There is something in the back of Georgia's diary that I haven't looked at that might be a letter. Okay, hold on. So this is, I'll show you guys as I'm looking. This is Georgia's diary, and in the back, it's like totally falling apart. But in the back, there are these folded papers. They look like just diary entries, though. Got new things, went to depot. Yeah, these seem like just diary entries. I don't know where they came from. Maybe they fell out of the book somewhere, but they're so like they're full page Friday, got up at 6:45. Yeah, so these are just entries from some point. They're not the letters. I was hoping they would be. Well, I guess we'll maybe figure out where those belong as we read. Okay, so one more. We're going to go back to Georgia. Read her January 20th. Breakfast was at office all day. Went downtown. In evening, played Flinch, the card game, now we know. Read a while. Went to bed at 10:45. Pleasant but windy. Went to post office. Okay. So now, Ralph's January 20th. Clear, cold, windy. Got up at 7. Studied descriptive geometry till 8:30. And recited at 8:30. Went to and recited, period. I don't know. Then he said at 8:30, went to chemistry lab and worked till noon. Except chapel time. Chapel time must be required at this school. Must have been a Catholic school. Hold on. He added in, went downtown before dinner. Went downtown before dinner. Went up to Pullman. No, not Pullman. That was the restaurant. I don't know why I automatically said Pullman. Went up to see Professor Williams about descriptive geometry at 1 o'clock till 1:40. Studied astronomy and geology till supper. Studied bridge with Martin and Ganser. So that's Ganser again. 6 to 9. Studied sanitary engineering and went to bed at, didn't finish that sentence. So went to bed at blank. Received policy from Royal Union Mutual Co. Also sent for pictures of Smith and Wesson. Okay. Is Smith and Wesson guns? Yeah. So maybe he... I don't want that on my live. Pew pew, yeah. So maybe he sent for like a catalog or something. Yeah. It does sound like a railroad though. Yeah, it's Wesson, right? Yeah, it is. All right, lots of things for TikTok to censor today. Meth, guns. All right. So, it seems like we're going to average like 10 days for each. Oh, okay, they do knives and other stuff too. Cool. So 10 days-ish each time we come on seems like it's going to be the norm. Because I'm feeling like definitely tired now. I don't want to go till the end of January. So I guess next time we'll finish out January, maybe start February. We'll see where it takes us. But I am going to, in the meantime, send the research list to the diary detectives. If you're in the diary detectives, I also sent out in the video chat tab of the Discord, I sent a few dates to choose from, so definitely vote for dates for the next video meeting. And I'll also upload last week's live and this week's live to YouTube and put the typed diary so far into my website. So I've got a lot of housekeeping to do, but I'll see you guys next week. I already made an event for next week on my TikTok if you want to register for it. It's free to register. It just gives you a notification. Looks like that's for today, so there should be another one. Hold on. It says live event today, but it should also show next week. Hopefully it works. You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming and for, participating. Yeah, so if you go to my TikTok page, you have to click on where it says live event today. And then there's another one that pops up that says May 7th. That's going to be the next one. And there's already 2 people registered, so perfect. So, all right. Bye, everybody. Until next time. See you next Tuesday. We'll read through the rest of January. And I'll get the February pictures taken, so just in case. All right. Bye, everybody.